congratulations. I mean, what went through your head when you heard about this honor?
This award is not about me. It's about our employees' achievement, because it truly reflects the culture we as a team has built.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, you were born and raised in China. As I mentioned, you applied for a visa to the U.S. 8 times.
Yeah,
and you still applied again.
I planned for 20 or 30 times. So actually, at that time, the good news is actually before I got a decline for this time, I got the visa. So I was born in China and came here in 1997 as a new immigrant, and joined WebEx as one of the first several founding engineers, and worked on WebEx for many, many years. And then I left Cisco to start Zoom.
Now, when you were at Cisco, you weren't really happy with the product that they were creating, and Cisco is the giant in this industry.
Yep.
So didn't you go to your bosses and say, this isn't working?
I did actually. You know what? And I was working very hard to make WebEx better. Guess what? 13 years later, I did not see a single happy WebEx customer. I feel like I have an obligation to fix that problem. But Cisco is a great company, but it was unwilling to change its collaboration strategy back then. I had no choice but to leave to fix the problem. Essentially, I guess I created that problem. So.
Lots of controversial discussions happening right now on immigration reform, the separation of families at the border. What has been your reaction to all of this as someone who has been through this process?
I think ultimately, when it comes to making a tough decision, you really look at it in the long run. Make sure that all the decisions we made sustainable. Separate the kids with family, I think absolutely wrong. You cannot punish those kids. You look at the kids that are crying, I think I have 3 kids. I feel very sad, very, very sad. Yeah.
So, Silicon Valley has a long-running diversity problem, as we've been discussing. You are in a unique position to make a difference. What are you doing at your company to make Silicon Valley a more inclusive place?
So Silicon Valley is an innovation center for the world, right? I think one of the key reasons why Silicon Valley is so successful because of embrace of diversity. If you have people coming from all over the world gather together, discuss something, I think that's where the innovation is coming from.
And yet women are underrepresented, minorities are underrepresented.
Yes, absolutely right. Yeah, that's why we need to focus on that problem. Like from Zoom perspective, like we always look at female engineers, female executives. Look at our executive team. 30% are female executives.
So Mark Zuckerberg, Lloyd Blankfein, Mark Benioff, those are the CEOs who have been on this list several years in a row. What are you going to do to stay on it next year?
First of all, I admire them. I really like Mark Benioff, Mark Zuckerberg. I think, from our perspective, especially for me as an immigrant, I got to work harder and harder. Make sure keep our employees happy, keep our customer happy. I think it should be fine.